There are a lot of myths that revolve around dogs with aggression and aggression issues specifically, but there are four main ones that really irk me. And so today I am debunking 4 myths about dog aggression. What's up, guys? It's Jenna with Dog Liaison, where I coach you on how to treat your dog's mental health needs. And on this channel, we break down scientific research in order to inform and educate us on how to train dogs. Today is a good one. I'm really excited to debunk these 4 myths for you, and I think you're gonna learn a lot, so let's get into it. So the first myth that I want to debunk is this theory of dominance. Now, probably dominance is one of the best lies that permeate the dog training industry, mostly because it has just an ounce of truth. And as you probably know, the best lies usually do have an ounce of truth. It's not that a dog can't display a dominant behavior, but dominant behaviors do not in and of themselves make aggression, which is to say that aggression and dominance don't necessarily go hand in hand. There are actually 10 different types of recognized forms of aggression. But more importantly, you can't have a dominant dog in the same way that you can't necessarily have an aggressive dog. To label the dog aggressive or to label the dog dominant completely ignores and discounts all of the other characteristics that could define that dog. And so what's more specific is that a certain behavior might be a dominant behavior, but again, to reiterate, that doesn't necessarily mean that the dog is displaying aggression. Dominance and aggression don't necessarily go hand in hand. And if you're interested in really dissecting all 10 of these forms of aggression, please let me know in the comments. Tell me that you're interested, and I'll be thinking about making a video for you guys. There's also a resource to an article by the AVMA in the description box below if you're interested in hearing more about those. So the second myth actually has 2 ends of the spectrum. So they're kind of 2 extremes, and that is that aggression is always the dog owner's fault, or conversely, aggression is always genetic, that if a dog has a genetic history that they're automatically going to become aggressive. Now, that's not to say that some owners don't inadvertently contribute to an aggressive behavior or instigate a situation inadvertently that may result in more aggressive behavior displayed by the dog. Absolutely, there are sometimes when humans are unintentionally causing more problems. But I don't like it when I hear my clients completely take on the blame. I usually try to intervene and go, well, wait a minute. You could be the best dog owner in the world. You could have, done everything correctly, and your dog is still going to experience fear. Your dog is still going to experience concern. These are normal emotions that every being is going to experience. Conversely, you have people who would argue that, well, it's all genetics. Everything has to do with how the dog's DNA is developed. That's not necessarily true either. Yes, DNA and genetics influence greatly the dog's personality and who they are as an individual, absolutely. But that doesn't necessarily negate the importance of experiences. Absolutely, the dog's experiences with another person or with another dog or in an environment can influence and cause aggressive behavior. So don't try to think in 2 of those extremes. Those are just that. We want to think of it from the whole picture. We want to think of it holistically. The third myth that really causes me some frustration is when I hear people say that you can't train aggression or you can't help an aggressive dog, that's just who they are, and all you can do is live with it, or worse, euthanize the dog. Guys, that is just absolutely an underestimation of what dogs are capable of doing. There are a couple of different bite scales and aggressive scales that we use to determine how aggressive a dog is. But my general answer is usually the Dunbar scale, just because it's 1 through 6, and it's pretty popular among dog trainers, and it's pretty easy to understand. But effectively, you have this bite scale which goes from all the way from an air nip and causing no pain all the way to killing a person. If your dog has killed a person, or your dog has seriously injured a person to the point where they are in the hospital and horribly injured, you know, you're gonna need to put in some management things in their life for the rest of the dog's life. Yes, you're going to probably need to make sure the dog is muzzle trained. You're gonna need to make sure that you are controlling and managing what strangers approach him, what situations he's put in to make sure that he doesn't revert back to some of those stress triggers. That being said, there's still a place for training. When we're thinking about management and we're thinking about making sure that the dog is just not put in his trigger situations, you can only do that for so much. There is absolutely a place for training, and we can expect the dog to develop cognitively and mature emotionally in order to handle certain situations. That's always going to be possible. How much possible or how much improvement a dog can make is highly variable. But to say that a dog absolutely cannot improve and that a dog is just always going to be aggressive and that's just the way it is, completely undermines what a dog is capable of doing. The fourth myth that really, I have to say, it's quite bothersome to me, is when I go to a person's house and they say, "Don't worry, Fluffy won't bite you. He's never bitten before." Guys, any dog who's ever bitten at one point wasn't biting. There's always a first time. And just because your dog has never bitten someone doesn't mean that he never will. We must understand that biting in and of itself is a worst case scenario. They are trying to prevent a confrontation from happening, and you can check out this video for more insight into that has a little bit more detail on dog behavior and bites specifically. But you know, we need to make sure that we're understanding it's not a matter of, well, he hasn't done it in the past, so he never will. That is absolutely a false logic, and it's our job to prevent it from happening in the future, not just assuming it never will. It's a little naive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, and if you enjoy learning about dog reactivity, dog aggression, and you want to take a deeper dive, make sure to check out my channel, which is completely dedicated to that topic. If you enjoyed this particular video and you have more questions about it, make sure to tell me in the comment section below. If there's another myth that you want me to debunk, make sure you tell me that as well, and I'll see you guys soon.